Guess who's back? Back again.
What's up, everybody?
Guess who's back? Tell a friend.
Hey,
Johnny's back.
I'm back.
Good morning.
I'm back, folks.
Done with the ghost.
You're done with
They
the ghost.
dry my mouth out for some reason.
Oh, yeah?
They don't dry your mouth out?
Make me want to burp a lot.
Okay. Make me want to burp a lot as well.
But not dry out my mouth.
So I'm done with the ghost. I'm back on Red Bull train.
I'm going to stick with him a little bit. What would throw people off really bad is if we did monsters.
Mark of the Beast.
Yeah, Mark of the Beast for sure. That was sarcastic, by the way.
Hey, we missed you on the podcast. Hope you had a good trip. Welcome home.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Monday morning quarterback.
Yep, here we
Talked
go.
through the service yesterday and what happened and how it happened and all those sorts of things.
Yep. And so what we're going to do is
The brainchild of Johnny Kilman right here.
The brainchild.
Hot off the mic.
Oh, Lord help us. Here he goes. All right, so we're just gonna kick it
Another
off.
sip of that. Have another sip of that. Let's get you going so that we can get a little smile from you this morning.
You feel like if you swig it, does that do something like with the?
I feel like it makes my teeth feel gritty when I swig it.
Really? Interesting. Well, I don't like that. So here's the first thing I want to pull up. Let's just go into your sermon, then we'll kind of go back.
Let's do it.
In service and work our way forward until we get to the end. So this is your plea to keep fighting. Let's check it out.
Overseers, but I'm telling you, in the church world, as things where you feel rejected, you keep fighting the good fight. Don't let the feelings of rejection hinder you from pursuing God and His will for your life. You feel overlooked, you feel underappreciated, you feel left behind. We have to remember that our faith is not in man, our faith is in the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You are not working for man, you are working for the Lord. So don't you dare give up on the fight. You fight the good fight. When man lets you down, it's okay, because your faith and your trust is not in man. Your faith and your trust is in the Lord, right?
I think this is a missing. I don't know, man. It's a weird battle because you just had this moment of appreciation in the church. Chris Kilgore had this great, and I had this great podcast of honor, and you gotta balance this of I honor my spiritual leader, I trust them, I'm following after them as they're following after Christ.
Right.
But if a spiritual leader acts like an idiot and doesn't follow Christ, then I'm no longer following them because I'm following Christ.
Yeah.
And so this weird balance of when somebody hurts you, when somebody lets you down, and it doesn't even have to be a spiritual leader. It could just be somebody in the church. Yesterday we had a situation where one of our leaders told somebody, had a hard conversation with somebody, and they left the church and, were cussing and saying how terrible we are. And then whenever that leader, we had a conversation with that leader, and then that leader's upset, and, it's just like, this is a part of humanity. Your feelings are going to get hurt. My feelings are going to get hurt. It's a part of it. But we have to stay focused on Jesus and who He is. Follow after Him.
Yeah, and this was one of those places in the service where, because we were talking about rejection, and so you're not going to get a lot of amens.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get a lot of engagement.
For sure.
A lot of tears, a lot of people like really.
You felt it because you preached it at Aynor.
Yeah, I felt it a lot, even because there was personal stories that were built into it.
For sure.
And if you told, I think, the right story, I think it really connected there.
Yeah.
So I feel like this whole service, there was this emotional connection. I mean, you're talking about hurt,
for sure,
pain, feeling, but for that person who has been hurt, who wants to give up, that was the time for you to go in and say, all right, I'm gonna rally the people together. And
absolutely,
yeah, it was super cool. Now go back to the beginning of service. Go to our announcements. I call this one tongue-tied.
I was tongue-tied yesterday.
Yeah, and so do you try to fight through this or just acknowledge it? I'm going to answer my own question here in a second.
The service, a little tongue-tied this morning. Anyways, hopefully work that out before I start preaching. Anyways. Wednesday night.
I feel like when things are awkward, sometimes you press through, and sometimes you go, hey, that was awkward. My bad.
Yeah.
I mean that and so just let everybody know, hey, everybody gets tongue-tied every now and then.
Yeah, and then
18. This commandment I entrust to you, Timothy. Paul penning this to Timothy says,
It's just, again, we talk about this sometimes. It is nice to know that someone as skilled of an orator as you are has moments like that too, where you're just
man.
like, just some days.
Some days your mind runs faster than your mouth does.
Yeah.
And it feels like your mouth can't catch up with the way your mind is running. And so, so in those moments you have those Paul, Timothy, you just, get this out. What?
Yeah, can we just get all this out right now? Let's just go ahead. Like I tell you, and I'm like, I acknowledge it. Like it's, and you try to. We're probably pretty similar in. We probably try to make a joke off of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Call it out and just.
For sure.
And thankfully, it wasn't like in a like super serious like moment where like if you were going to your like the altar time or whatever, the application part, and you got everybody crying, and then you just start doing that. It's like, okay, what do I do?
I've been there though. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've had. Listen, everybody's gonna get tongue tied at some point.
Yeah.
And when you do, I'm not gonna tell you how to handle it when you do, but when I do, I just kind of acknowledge it or power through and just say, okay, stop, take a breath. What am I trying to say here? Here goes what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool. So then we get to fried chicken in church, okay? We're talking about our anniversary service.
We're going to provide fried chicken for y'all because, it's church. Fried chicken and church just kind of go together.
This declarative statement.
For some reason.
Amen.
I agree totally.
Maddie says a lot of things here in the announcement times.
She does.
She's right on here. I feel like, why is this, though? Like, why is fried chicken and church and this whole food thing, like...
I think fried chicken goes with church because it was back in we'll call it the 50s or 40s or whatever. They killed a chicken off the yard and they fried it and they brought it to the potluck and that was their, that was a staple of the community. And so I think that realistically, fried chicken through the years has been associated with pastors because we were fat and out of shape, and so we just sit around and eat fried chicken.
Right.
People say we work 2 days a week and eat fried chicken all day long, So I think they've been associated with pastors through the years almost as a joke, but it is my favorite food, so
yeah, like
what are you going to do with it?
I close my eyes and I don't remember a time in my life, any potluck. I'm a church kid. I'm in my 30 years of living this life, and all the potlucks I've been to.
Gotta be more than 30.
I'm probably like 35 to 50 in spirit. But like, I don't remember there not being a yellow Bojangles box sitting on the table with fried chicken and the biscuits next to it.
And listen, as much as I love the Bojangles biscuits, you know how disappointing it is to open that box thinking there's still a piece of chicken left and then seeing nothing but biscuits in there?
Biscuits, yes.
Oh, and I love the Bojangle biscuits.
Yeah, they're great.
But it ain't a piece of fried chicken.
It ain't a piece of that fried, like even if it was just like the drum, the leg.
No, it don't matter. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you can take the drum and just walk around.
Yeah,
and
walk around, talk to people.
Yeah, you don't even need a plate.
Use it as a microphone.
Yeah, for sure. Interview people with it. Anyway.
But
fried chicken in church, Maddie, good call. It does go together. And we're going to have that at anniversary service. Then we had a drama.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talked about it a little bit last week, making some adjustments and things like that.
Yeah.
But they did an incredible job.
Yeah.
And I could see you were standing pretty early inside of the drama, I feel like I saw you pretty early. I want to talk about, again, the role it plays. What was the crowd's reaction for people who weren't necessarily there? And then some probably more specific things about why we have started doing it live and those types of things.
So the crowd was uber engaged. Anytime kids are on stage at any point for anything, the congregation immediately is engaged. That may not be normal in other churches, but for our church, we really do a good job of cheering on the next generation. So when we saw them up there, it was immediate engagement from the congregation. What I don't think you got was maybe as worshipful of a moment because it was almost watching them rather than participating in the
Right.
worship. And so there is maybe some disconnect there that you got to work through or walk through. But yeah, I'm a big fan of giving kids opportunities to use their gifts and to stand in moments like this. From my daughter when she was, 5 and 6 years old, we go back and watch videos of Cammie, who's now leading them on campuses. Yesterday she was in Socastee leading kids ministry on campus.
Super cool.
And so, it's always important to give kids an opportunity, and yesterday's just one of those moments. And, celebrating with them, worshiping with them, rejoicing with them. It was good day.
So going to the live part of it, we used to for a long time. Probably when I first got here, we did a lot of the playing through the like a track or playing a YouTube video behind.
You're talking about the band live.
Yeah, the band live.
Being live behind them is twofold. Number one, so we don't get kicked off of YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, because we've copywritten somebody's music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part one of it. Part two of it is it just makes the transition in and out so much easier.
Yeah.
It makes it feel more worshipful to have the band singing. It makes it feel more crowded because the band's on stage, or because the musicians and singers are on stage. But it feels so much like at the end they're walking off going, you are my everything, you are my everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gives them the transition off as the band's able to continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah, let's check this out. This is actually the next segment I have called The Transition. I thought this was masterclass. I'm nerding out here probably in this moment with when I watched it back, I was like, that was great right there. So let's look at it here. So they're finishing up here. I don't know how they do that walking and singing. I would trip. That's impressive right there. So they're walking off. They're still worshiping. Simeon's giving his nod over to Kyron. Now Kyron's coming up.
Welcome to all our campuses.
The camera work was great there.
Yeah, that was
Like all the dynamics there were great.
Just a conversation of we get to the end. It's one of those things. It was. I watched the drama and I was like, okay, here goes how we're gonna exit off. Hey, just sing that over and over again and do this. So we did it a couple weeks ago whenever they were exiting off this way, but then all of a sudden we had to cancel last week. So now we're exiting off this way. Just do it this way. Just made it feel more worshipful as they're leaving, and not so much as a performance. We all clapped for them still, but it made it feel less of a performance.
Yep.
It felt like we were worshiping.
Yeah, it was a part of the whole worship set. It wasn't like jagged. You had to stop and then have Simeon say, "Y'all ready to worship again?" Like it was pretty smooth there. Also notice if Caleb can pull back up the clip we were at, you notice Kyron's holding a Bible.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about this on the pod yet, but we used to, for a long time, everybody would whoever's doing the scripture transition, they would just bring their phone or bring a piece of paper.
Yeah, it was kind of the wild west here. We did a lot of, people were using phones. They were trying to read off the back screen, but then if they're reading off the back screen and somebody is standing up worshiping, then they lose what they're reading, or somebody doesn't, change the slide at the right time, or whatever it was. So we just decided, hey, here goes a Bible. This Bible stays back here, and this is the Bible that we use. It's already marked for you. It already tells you what to read. Here goes the Bible. It's here for you. Read it.
Yeah, so they have everything they already need
Everything
back there.
the Bible. They just grab the Bible and go.
Yeah, super cool. Now, check this out. Speaking of Bibles, okay, we have this perspective here. You don't get this a lot. I'm going to pause it. Go back here. Pause. All right, so guys, if you notice here,
You're such a nerd.
if you notice here the
You're
setup,
such a nerd.
if you notice here the setup, guys. All right, so here goes. He has iPad here. All right,
yeah.
pulpit's out, guys. Pulpit's out. Bible is down here
Yeah.
at the bottom, okay? I wanted to talk about this because I have this issue.
Because you're a nerd
Because
when it comes
I'm
to
a
this
nerd.
stuff.
I actually got a new Bible, a Schuyler Stridon.
Oh, I love it.
And it's actually a little bit bigger, and I've had some problems with it being
When
on
I
the
saw
bottom.
this on the paper, I thought, no way he's going to talk about this.
I'm very
You're
much going to
such a
talk about
nerd.
this. Very much going to talk about this. Do you have problems ever getting your ribbons at the bottom? Do you ever
Yes.
struggle there?
Yes, I have a struggle there.
Yeah, like it's where do you put things at though? Like something's got to be at the bottom. So I'm like, do you put the iPad at the bottom and the Bible goes up top? But then when you put the Bible at the top, or you still got to deal with the Bible hitting the iPad.
Yeah, my iPad is clipped in, so it's like one of those stretchy clips or whatever.
You
so
can
it's
kind of see
clipped
it
in.
kind of raised up a little bit there.
Yeah, it's clipped in, and so the Bible at the bottom, and I use a ribbon for the first scripture I'm reading.
Yeah.
And I will use a ribbon for the second
A
scripture.
Beresford ribbon. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
A Beresford ribbon. I don't even know how you say it correctly.
I don't even know what that means. But
Special ribbon.
I use a ribbon for the first scripture I'm reading so that I don't have to fight with it. Boom, here it is. And the second scripture I'm reading, so I know exactly whenever I'm in the middle of whatever, I know my next one is a ribbon. And then after that, I'm going to these little sticky tabs that are on the side of my Bible.
Okay. Yeah, I've gotten to have
which
to
are on the actual side, so I'm not trying to dig from the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom it's tough. Maybe we need to make the ribbons go up and then flip.
Yeah,
Maybe somehow we need to make that
design
happen.
that.
We'll see. Skylar, let's do a collaboration together, okay, guys? Okay, so let's go. We're in this worship set now. Or this transition happening.
I look so
between
mean
service.
right there. Oh,
It's just a day. It's just a day.
just a day.
So, and there's actually it was an intense worship moment there, I think. And you're about to make a call here. Yeah, you get a little wave of the waft. Come on. All right, so that, and you keep waving them in. So you right there, you might not have been able to hear it too well. You said, "Come on," and it was almost like you were looking at the crowd. And maybe we've talked about this a little bit, but was the crowd the determining factor there, or were you led like oh, we're gonna go
I
do
think in worship, I knew that the first service was completely different. Again, you watched it live at Aynor, the first service, but the second service, it was this. It almost felt like there needed to be a declaration. The first service we went into, and the angels cry, holy, and it was just this sweet, somber moment. In this service, it was like, no, we need to declare your name is the highest. I think because there's two different groups of people in the 9 and the 11, it almost feels like the 9 just wanted to tell him how holy he was, and the 11 just needed to tell him your name is the highest. It's weird.
That's so
it's weird.
interesting because you would think it would want to be canned. Like you'd think you'd want it to be like, to make it easier, this is what I'm just going to do for both services.
Yeah, I never have a plan at the end of worship. I'll plan everything else to death, but I never have a plan for the end of worship.
So scary.
I am walking up there completely, okay, Holy Spirit, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, so depending on what's stirring in that moment tells you.
And I say I never have a plan. There are times where I say, hey, have this song ready. It's stirring in my spirit or something of that nature. But it's not like...
it's not the end. It's not like the end. You're more defined because that's a piece of your sermon.
Absolutely.
Your sermon's planned.
Correct.
Therefore, you're going to plan the way you end.
Correct.
Even with those worshipful moments, you plan that. But you don't really have that middle piece. You just have no idea the response level.
No clue.
Or what response they're going to have to the worship. So you have to sort that out with
the
Lord.
You're sorting it out in the moment.
Yeah.
As it's happening, you're sorting it out.
And it's always nice, though, to have a Simeon Salone, a band who can get behind you.
Absolutely.
And just, it's like you could just, whatever you wanted to say, they could just pick up and go with.
Go ahead and play this part, but there was a moment here where me and Simeon were almost on top of each other vocally, and I was preaching, and he was whoa-ing or whatever, and I just had to stop the band. And that doesn't happen often, but I just had to stop the band and say, okay, I want to make sure you heard what I said. Because I was trying to say it and other things were happening. I want to make sure you heard what I said.
Yeah. You cut them off like mid.
Yeah.
Which is cool sometimes, like a conductor, Anyway, all right. So this one is Childlike Faith. This one kind of, when I was watching it back, this one kind of pulled on the heartstrings a little bit about where did it go?
Where did it go?
Where did it go?
He says, we older folk need some childlike faith to come to him. Where is that inside of us that used to have such a passion for the Lord that we didn't care that 1,000 eyes were on us as we were jumping around, telling him how amazing he was, telling him how good he had been? Where is that thing that used to be inside of you? Now listen to me. Listen to me. I know what I get in moments like this. I get people saying, "It's just not my thing, preacher." I totally understand.
Yeah, like you're thinking back to then. Okay, what was I like when I first had my real encounter with Jesus?
And honestly, even before, like this isn't even about the first encounter with Jesus. To me, this is about a child is willing to jump and dance and spin and crawl up in daddy's arms and doesn't care who's watching.
Yeah.
And if we're not careful, we lose that. We're so consumed with who's watching that we lose that desire for intimacy in this pure form of just I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
And if it means raising my hands and crying, how many times I've been crying in church and go, all right, suck it up. You got to do X, Y, Z, or somebody's watching you or whatever. They just pan the camera to you. So suck it up. Stop crying. You know how many times that's happened? When children don't care.
Yeah.
JD3 starts crying. He doesn't care who's looking at him.
He don't care.
He don't care where he's at. He'd throw himself down right in that floor and wait on B-Paul to come get him. He don't care one bit.
Yeah. I think it just to me when I was listening though, it brought me back to to personalize it, like the excitement from every single moment I had, like in God's presence, in a service, even when you're spending your time with the Lord and he's speaking something to you, like you want to share that with the people who you like, the people who are close to you in your life or whatever. But where does that fade come from? Like is it
a lot of years of rejection? We talked about rejection in this sermon. A lot of years of rejection, a lot of years of calluses being built up that's created this lack of engagement now.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. It really is.
Yeah. And we go to this next part where you talk about the trick of the enemy. And I thought it was so interesting the way it's played out.
What a trick of the enemy that people are walking away because somebody in the flesh hurt their flesh, and now they're walking away from the kingdom of God and walking away from their faith and walking away from the church because they've been hurt. Now they're walking away from the design plan of God to reach the world.
That's... I don't want to... You try not to give credit to the enemy.
You try not to.
But we know he's cunning.
Been at it for thousands of years.
Smart. Like, he knows what he's doing. And so how smart to try to get someone offended, to try to get them to leave the church.
To get them isolated.
To get them isolated when they need, we need that person there. They need the church. The church needs them.
Yeah.
Like, how fascinating is that concept to me? It wasn't that wasn't a huge, piece of the sermon.
Wasn't a huge point in the sermon.
But to me, it was a dagger. It was, oh my gosh. People, realize what's happening there.
Did you use that quote in Aynor?
Which quote?
What a trick of the enemy.
Was it on the...
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. No. By the way, guys, he's saying that because I preached this. He writes our sermons, so I preached that with some we were talking about personal illustrations and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I give you guys the freedom. Like, here's 75% of the sermon. Here's
Yeah.
what we're preaching on. We're talking about rejection. We're talking
Yeah.
about, this inside of the church. Here's
Yeah.
what I'm preaching on.
It's actually an interesting concept. Maybe we'll bring it up one day when it's like blank or whatever with the bullet points and stuff like that.
For sure.
But yeah, that was definitely something I was like, my ears go out, even if it was only like a 30-second segment to the sermon. But then we talked about this here, bashing on social media.
Good conscience.
Keep a good
I mean,
conscience.
listen, let me just be personal with you. When I am being bashed on social media for something that
That's so wild,
has
man.
nothing to do with me, and people say mean things and nasty things, it's tough to keep a good conscience. I could tell you some stories. I could tell you some things of, you were at Jess's funeral yesterday. You heard one of the stories of people just being mean and nasty. They think I'm just a face on a screen. They don't think I'm a real person with real feelings. So they say mean and nasty and ugly things. And you know what I want to do?
Like what?
You want me to start?
Give me one.
Lady was upset that I surely if they left the church, they're not watching a podcast, right?
I think this podcast reaches the masses. So I think she's going to see this. For sure.
I got a message of a person who came to church twice, told me that their fiance's mom or dad had died.
Yeah.
Been to church twice, fiance's dead. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Anything we can do? Like, that was my response. Nothing to do, just pray. So we did. I put it on the prayer wall, and we prayed for the family. To come to find out months later that they were upset that I wasn't at the funeral and I didn't go comfort their family. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. Got a letter yesterday. I used it last Sunday. I used it in the sermon. Very surely this person is not watching this episode, but
Well, they got a whole segment here coming, so.
Okay, well, I mean, just the stories of people who are shocked that you're not Superman.
I'm surprised at how people dehumanize other people.
I got
on
a
social
7-page letter emailed to me or mailed to me last week
That's impressive.
telling me all the things I've done wrong.
Wow. Like 12-point font or like 8-point font?
Handwritten.
Wow.
Handwritten. 12-page letter.
Wow.
I say 12 page. That's probably exaggeration. 8-page, 5-page. I don't know.
That's
It was a bunch.
intense.
It was a thick letter.
And what does that do? Like, is there a part of you?
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. As much
I
as.
weep, I cry. I don't want to ever be seen like this. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to disappoint anyone. And to know that there are people out there that I love the church. I don't want to hurt the church. And to think that there are people out there that my shortcomings have hurt them and made them frustrated at the church because of my shortcomings. It's heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I know the easy thing to say is, well, you're only human. I get it, man. I get it. But I don't want to do anything that hurts the church.
Yeah. Well,
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
When this one lady was upset at me because she needed counseling, professional counseling, and the church wouldn't pay for her professional counseling. She didn't come to she came to our church once every few months. She was in a lawsuit battle, and she was upset that I wouldn't help fund lawyers. And I'm talking like bashed on social media. Because look at you. You're going to Disney, but you won't help me pay for my lawyer. What kind of pastor are you? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You get a paycheck, I get a paycheck. Whatever you do with your money is your thing. The church has a governing body, a board of directors that decides what we do with this money.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do with my money, if I go to Disney, ain't got nothing to do with this money.
Yeah.
They're two completely separate things.
Yeah.
But yet, because I was going to Disney, then I'm a terrible human because her life was in, disarray, and I wouldn't pay for things for her life.
No.
I'm like, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I think what I love about this podcast and all the podcasts that we do, I think it shows the behind the scenes on what pastors go through, what staff go through, the weight of the decisions that we have to make, the different levels of weight that we have, how we feel emotionally, like truly, authentically, and definitely on social media. If you're one of our masses of people watching this podcast, be careful. Be careful with your words on social media. Those things, even though you feel like you might be warning or watching out for people or whatever, people they're humans. We have emotions, and
You feel totally justified in what you're saying.
yeah,
Just because you feel justified may not mean that you're justified.
right.
I would much rather anyone, you know me,
Mm-hmm.
let's have a conversation.
Yeah,
Let's have a conversation. At the end of the conversation, if we still feel differently about whatever subject matter it is, no worries. That's fine.
yeah,
But to me, you have a conversation, you feel differently about it, no worries. We just go our separate ways.
yeah.
We don't need to keep rehashing our differences. No. We're, Peter and Paul, just go separate ways. You just go over there and I'll go over here. We're good.
Yeah. And then we go back to in the sermon though, hurt people.
Hurt people, hurt people.
And there's some hurt there that they're trying to fill a void
No doubt.
with. And so always trying to see the perspective there. But yeah, social media, man,
Tons of money stuff is always a big thing, which is why it makes it hard to talk about money in the church, because again, people see my paycheck and the church's pot as the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't see nobody in ministry sees you don't see your paycheck and the church's pot as the same thing.
No.
You get a paycheck.
Right.
To do what you do, to minister the way you minister to. This board of directors that governs our church says this is what Johnny is getting paid. Here goes your paycheck.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what comes in on Sunday morning, other than this is the pot that they use to pay your paycheck out of.
Yeah, we're not all standing in line after church after the tithe and offering is taken up, and then being like, all right, today we did this, and so now everybody gets this.
If your truck engine blows up, you're not coming to the church or the board of directors and saying, hey, my engine blew up, I need a new engine.
Yeah.
They're going to say,
We paid you.
yeah, what did you do with your money? You got a paycheck.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why we partner the two, or we can't. If a pastor, listen, it's hard saying stuff because I am one.
Yeah.
But if you pull up in a new car, it ain't got nothing to do with the church.
Yeah.
It's your bad decision or good decision or whatever you decided in your house.
Yeah.
You get a paycheck, whatever you want to do with your money's your thing.
Yeah.
My house payment is so small.
Yeah.
And it's nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's weird how people see money and then they just bash, man. They just go in and they tell you all the terrible things that you've ever done, and you just bite your tongue and you say, totally get it, I'm sorry. From end time stuff, I get a lot of end time stuff. I get an email every single week from a guy who used to come to church here and tells me, he just picks apart my sermon and tells me how this point was incorrect and it doesn't line up with Revelation and all the things that the Lord has showed him, and get those messages every single week. Probably have one on my phone right now from him from this morning.
Well,
And he come church here and he's watching our sermons and picking them apart.
just it must be pretty good. but pretty bad to him.
Let's move on.
All
What
right.
else you got?
We got ironically, I did not know how we were going to transition into this next segment called celebrating.
There you go.
We're celebrating.
Small group left your small group to go join a different small group, and me and Rachel are celebrating that person, at least as they left your small group, they went to another small group. So praise the Lord, they're still connected, but you feeling rejected because that person left your group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we do this well,
Yep.
and there's this typically, I've seen this in church world where you leave one, even inside other churches,
Volunteer
like
teams, small groups, whatever it is.
Small groups. You sit on the other side of the church because you like that the AC's hitting you
Right.
better over there.
Right.
The person who is affected by that and what would seem the negative then begins to feel rejected, takes it out of you. It changes the relationship maybe that you have with someone. But I have found here we push and celebrate when somebody makes the decision
Absolutely.
to make changes that
We try.
better their life.
We try.
We try our best. Now, there's certainly times where, someone would tell me, hey, this is where I feel like God is calling me to go team-wise or whatever. And part of me naturally feels, wow, that's going to leave a huge hole inside of my
For
team.
sure.
But at the same time, it's like, man, that is amazing that you are getting this opportunity to go do something that you feel like God's calling you to do.
I have a team myself. It's called PJT. And in that team, last night we had this training night. And in that team, not everybody could show up because they have kind of split duty. So they went to other teams. And so we just had the conversation of last night of, let's not make them pull double duty. Let's celebrate that they're there. Let's celebrate that they found their spot. And let's give them the freedom to give all of their attention to this area.
Yeah. Why is it so hard sometimes?
We take it personal. We say, I'm a bad leader. That's why they left me. Or I didn't have enough hospitality was why they left my small group, or whatever the case may be. When somebody leaves the church, I take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't good enough for them. And obviously it's not the case, but it's what our minds tell us, especially people who've dealt with rejection. It's what our minds tell us.
Yeah, I would say to that too. I've seen in moments where people have gotten offended, even in high-level roles here, and you've had the correction moment where they're like, they're not even yours.
Right.
That's not even your person.
Right.
You're there to steward that person.
Absolutely.
And take care of that person.
It's not your budget. It's not your people. It's not your office. It's not you are a steward of what God has given you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's healthy.
When people look at me, staff, when they look at me and they're like, hey, somebody spent out of my budget. No, it's not your budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's the church's budget. And if I want to, spend out of kids ministry budget to send a kid to, Winterfest or whatever, then this is the church's budget. It's not your budget.
Yeah, and I think that's so healthy for the church world to say, they're not mine. They're not my property.
They're not mine.
Yeah, but to be able to celebrate them wherever they go and to cheer them on because they feel good. That helps them feel good going to their next place because they know they have the support of the person they were with,
Absolutely.
So I've appreciated that in whatever role I've been in and whatever I've done is that I've seen this modeled by you of, all right, cool. That's where you want to go? Awesome.
Let's do it.
Happy for you. Let's do it.
Yep.
Then we get to the apology you talked about a little bit here before. I thought it was interesting.
I'm sorry if your story is a story
Earlier you
of
talked about,
rejection.
I
If your
apologize
story
to you.
is a
You
story
actually
where
took a moment
somebody
and
let you down or
apologized to
somebody
that
didn't
lady.
say hey to
But
you or
here
somebody
you're
wasn't
talking
there for
about,
you in a time of need.
hey, I'm sorry.
if that's your story. And the truth of the matter.
Were you always like this?
No.
Where you would say, I just want to take a moment, and the lady who didn't get greeted in the glass room, who felt isolated and alone,
No.
I want to say I'm sorry.
No.
No?
I probably would have got up 10 years ago and preached on her and said,
Oh, no.
stupid lady, I probably would have said something idiotic.
Oh, no.
But in my old age, I've just got to the place to where I am sorry.
Yeah.
I am actually heartbroken that lady had to go through that.
Yeah.
That she sat in our glass room, drank a cup of coffee, and never got greeted. Saw everybody walking around, and including me. She made sure to let me know that she saw me walking around too, and didn't get greeted. Didn't get her, anybody come, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
How that happened, I have absolutely no clue.
Because that's not like us.
At all.
At all.
At all. Like anywhere. Like from coming in, you went and got a coffee and you sat in the classroom. That's 3 areas of connection that I will say, impossible. Obviously, it wasn't because she experienced it. Almost impossible for you to get through all 3 of those areas and never be greeted.
If you make it through our foyer without somebody saying anything to you,
it's impressive.
You need to go be a part of Mission Impossible,
Agree.
CIA stuff.
Agree.
Because that's hard. Greeters everywhere. People in that classroom who are,
that's their
chirping
role.
away. Yeah. The Mission Cafe, we have people. That's wild.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm sorry that people have experienced what they've experienced.
Yeah.
And I think what some pastors do, if we're not careful, is we try to validate the excuses, validate the thing that happened, validate the moment, whatever it was. Well, it was just a busy day. It was just, and I think what people probably would much rather have is, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball there.
That's good.
Please forgive me.
That's good. So you talk about the first step for us, okay? For people in faith.
The first step we take in responding to rejection biblically is to make a decision that we're going to trust the Lord just as Jesus did. Here goes some truth about your life. Here goes some truths about where you're at in this
we
season.
talked about Christ and all that he went through.
Yeah.
And he just decided in every season of rejection, he just decided, I'm going to follow the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So as we are being hurt or getting hurt by the church, our first step has to say, I'm following after Christ.
Yeah.
I'm trusting in you, because then if I'm trusting in you, I'm not wandering away from the thing that you've put in place.
Yeah.
So start there.
Yeah. So then we go to, I'm going to tie this in with this next segment. It's called It's Fleeting, okay? You're talking about feeling.
Changes nothing about our everlasting identity in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You must endure. In 2 Corinthians.
So feelings.
Mm-hmm. Feelings are fleeting.
Fleeting. So what role do feelings play inside of our relationships with people, and then that balance, going back to maybe the segment before?
Yeah, we have this emotional, fleshly thing inside of us that drives us.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to battle that with the spiritual man inside of us. And so we're constantly at war, the Bible says, flesh and spirit. And so the emotions of the flesh cannot dictate how the spirit man walks. And as the emotions of the flesh start to dictate how the spirit man walks, you'll start wandering away from the church, or you'll start, having a bad attitude or bitter or whatever, because you've allowed those emotions to take root and to establish itself, rather than the Spirit of God saying, this is how we respond. And the scripture I almost read there in 2 Corinthians 1, 3-5 or something of that nature, where it talks about, you've been comforted, now it's your responsibility to comfort others. Like you've received this comfort as the spirit man has received comfort in the flesh, in the emotions. So your response is then to help others work through these emotions that they're having, so that they can rely on the Spirit and receive the comfort of the Spirit. The Spirit is the comforter.
Right.
And so feelings are fleeting. From marriage to ministry and everything in between, if you make decisions on feelings, you're going to get into a bad way at times.
Right, because I feel like there's spiritual assignments on our lives.
Yes.
callings that God has placed in our lives, whether it's a ministry or whether it is, in a workforce somewhere, whatever God has placed inside of you, where there's going to come a day where there's going to be this challenge that arises. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be opposition. There's going to be things that would conjure up feelings
For sure.
of, I want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. There's something else on the other side that looks better, that would take away the stresses that I'm going through right now. And if we let those feelings, which feel very valid in the moment because of whatever we experienced, if we let them dictate what to do with that spiritual thing that God has placed inside of us, then we're not probably going to see the fruit of it, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So I definitely, and this is something for me because I'm a very emotional
So emotional.
person. I'm going through a season in my life right now
Yeah,
where
you're so emotional.
yeah, I'm going through a season in my life where I have seen God do things, and as
So
I've seen Him
emotional.
do things, I want to. I'm so emotional. I'm so emotional, guys.
You are so emotional and then so not emotional at the same time. It's such
Especially
you're
like
such
5
a
in the
conundrum.
morning. Yeah, I am. I'm an enigma. It's my middle name. But yeah, so being in places like that, I've seen the battle, like, and it'll probably happen till the day I die, where that's just what life is like.
Yep.
Every time you face a new season of growth or whatever it is, then you have these moments where it's like, do I want to still continue in this pattern, or do I want to go back to a comfortable place?
Yep.
So yeah, guys, keep going. Emotions, they're fleeting. Feelings are fleeting. All right. So then you make this pastor's plea.
Pastor's plea. Here we go.
All right.
Would go up all over the place. Don't run from the Lord. Don't you dare give up on your faith. You keep fighting. You stay committed to your faith. You keep a good conscience so that the same Lord that comforted you, the same Lord that was with you in those hard seasons and those difficult seasons, the same Lord that walked with you in those times, you can now take that same comfort He gave to you and give it to somebody else.
So this was at an interesting. The only reason I pulled this up is because this was at an interesting place in the service. This is now you're going into more your conclusion,
Yeah.
which I feel like then is more of the pastor's plea,
Yeah.
kind of what I have here in the segment. You could tell there was, even in that moment, people that you were wanting to really have this connect with, and you're not yelling, you're not talking in a high tone, you're not talking quickly.
No, just passionately just saying, please don't leave the faith.
Yeah.
Please don't walk away from the Lord. Please, I know you got hurt. I'm sorry. Please don't walk away from this.
No.
I could call names right now of people that were sitting in the front row in this moment that I've watched them walk through church hurt, which is why they came here. And they came here and they were like, I don't want to do anything. I'm so hurt, so broken. I don't want to do anything. Our community has gone through a few different situations, church hurt wise, that has maybe brought some of those people here that you're just like, man, I don't want you to have to feel this way.
Yeah.
I want you to please keep your eyes on Jesus.
Yeah. I think that's heavy for you because you understand
No
the
doubt.
implications of even, this sermon. You may not see, if there was a person specifically in your head, you may not see that person ever again.
Yep.
And you want to make sure that they hear that message.
Yep.
And so we get to the end, and this is your baptism call. You've already made the call once, and you do this right here.
I don't say this often. I don't feel this often, but I feel like there's just somebody here that wants to move, and for some reason you're not moving.
Yeah. And they didn't.
Lexi's gonna stay right here. You're here this morning.
They didn't. But I just felt a spiritual tug of war.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that like? I probably ask this every once in a while when something like this comes up, but what is it
it
like?
felt like for me, like I know I'm supposed to move on, but for some reason I can't move on.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, what's next? And you're like, nothing's next. You got to stay right here.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. We move on. We sing the song. We move. And you're like, no. You're staying here. It was almost this like tug of war wrestling match.
I think I've heard the not spiritual experts, but kind of our churchy spiritual arrest. Is that more like
absolutely.
I am arrested in this moment
Yeah.
and can't move
Can't
until
move
I do this.
until I do this.
Yeah. Interesting.
And you want to move, and you know it's just, let's just move. And you're like, no, I can't. I have to stay right here for some reason.
Is it more like you could choose to? How hard would it be for you to get around?
I could choose, but I would know in choosing to move on that I missed something in the moment.
And then you're dealing with the emotion of I just missed a moment.
I just missed a moment, and honestly, for me, moments like this it is less about the person and more about just me being obedient to the voice of God.
Yeah.
So if they respond or not, I'm going to be obedient to the voice of God.
Yeah.
And so
I was talking to someone the other day, and they talked about how they were in the service with a notable figure or whatever, and he said, the person on stage said, you can be disobedient, but I'm not going to be disobedient in this moment.
Yeah.
And so I was like, anyway. So then we get to baptism. I was just curious
some cool
what
moments yesterday.
Yeah, I was just curious what happened here.
I got Vanessa here if you need her, okay?
This is Henry's mom.
Yeah.
You testify to this
From
entire
Colombia.
congregation, everybody watching online.
Wow.
Henry's mom. Henry is my armor bearer. He's the guy that brings out the pulpit for me.
Yeah, he was in this service right here, actually.
Yeah, he's my guy. He is such a servant and just amazing dude. And so his mom is in town visiting, and just kind of dealt with the call, felt the call, and made the decision to move. And so I wasn't sure how much English she understood, so that's why I said Vanessa's here with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Vanessa, do you need to translate? And she was like, I'll be here if you need me to. So, anyway, it's just a cool moment, just knowing their story a little bit. It's just really cool to be able to participate in this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was cool to see the responses,
Yeah.
even with maybe someone not responding when they were.
And that's okay.
And that's fine. And
Conviction of God chased them down this week.
Yeah, right. I remember you talking about how your mom would be like.
My mom would pray to misery on me. My mom say, I pray he can't eat, sleep. I pray he's miserable. Make him sick till he follows you.
Oh my God.
That's how my mama pray. So that's how I pray for people too. Make them sick, Lord.
Make them sick, God.
Till they follow you.
Do it. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for being here today.
Hey,
it's good
love
being
y'all.
back. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.